Hello and welcome to the Unstoppable Masculinity Podcast. I'm Sam Joseph and this is episode 2. Now today I wanted to cover a typical question that young men have, and this is, what are the most underrated skills to become an attractive man? So the list on this could be endless, but I thought I'd pick 5 that I've seen work the most consistently and reliably. So let's kick it off. Number 1, you might think it's confidence, but this actually goes a little bit beyond confidence. It's kind of in the same ballpark. Skill number 1 is non-neediness. So what is non-neediness? When you're in situations and settings, you don't look for any kind of validation from other people. You have the ability to walk away and not be forlorn or jarred if you don't get what you want. You're perfectly fine before the situation and you'll be fine after the situation. So whatever happens in whatever circumstance you're in, it might be something that annoys you or takes you off balance, but you can walk away and you're perfectly the same as when you came in. So it's a level of balance and internal validation that a man keeps within himself that no one can really touch, to go and mess around with his internal validation. Skill number 2 is independence. Now, this is a man's skill because independence means you don't need to rely on anyone to get your needs met. It means you're covering your expenses, you're covering what you need to get your job done. If there's something that you find you're lacking, you figure out a plan to go get it. You're not reliant or dependent on someone to get your life moving. So independence is a highly attractive skill. Independence is something I've seen that's in short supply these days. And I think one of the big reasons for that is most people end up living their lives in institutions for way too long. If you look at school, you have to be at school for 12 years. And then if you want to get a job, a white-collar job, well, you're going to need a 4-year degree. That's another 4 years. So that's 16 years in institutions. Now, some people might want to go further and get a PhD or a master's, and that's another 2 years or 3 years. So it's 16 years being institutionalized at minimum. When you come out into the real world, you've never really had to make a decision by yourself, and you've never had to wear the consequences. You've never had to look at the lay of the land and figure out what is the best course forward. So we start at a deficit these days, unfortunately. So independence is a really big and attractive skill for a man because it means that he sheds the boyish conditions where he's letting other people and so-called authorities tell him what's good and what he should do, and he's starting to make up his own mind, and he's starting to develop his own judgment. The more independent you can be, the better, because you'll feel stronger, you'll feel more confident, and your life starts to go in a direction that you want. Skill number 3. This one is wit. Wit helps you in a lot of areas because life is harsh, far more than we care to admit. And the ability to create levity in harsh situations can make people like you and ease off their defenses and smooth out your interactions. It's also a very good skill when you're dealing with different kinds of people and women because men can be pretty intense. Most of us tend to be ambitious and we have testosterone flowing through our veins. We're pretty much go, 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 like a dog with a bone if we want to achieve something most of the time. So wit's really very helpful because you can start to bring people in, make them feel included, they let their guard down, and they start to connect with you on a more social, personal level. Now, wit's also useful if you want to make sales as well. It's a very handy sales skill because it takes the edge off the interaction and it disarms people. Skill number 4 is decision making. This is a little bit of a tricky skill. How do you make a good decision? No one's born with that ability. Frankly, you have to make a lot of decisions and then measure the outcomes and then look at how you made those decisions based on the outcomes, and then fix your process of decision making. There is no rule book. I know there's some systems that help people make decisions. There's a project management system on how to organize things to make the best possible decisions. But we're talking about decision making for you and your life based on what you want and your goals. So you're going to have to make sure that you're auditing all your outcomes and asking yourself whether what you're doing is getting you closer or further away from that. This is an ongoing process. You will know if you're making good decisions because you will use a process and it will turn out that it gets you closer to your goal or to the outcome you want. That's a good decision. Skill number 5 is gratitude. Gratitude is a skill because you will have to practice it. There are many things in life that don't work out. Things tend not to work out or be way more difficult than you expected. Gratitude is your ability to take the load off and take off the expectation and look around and see that you are actually more abundant than you think you are, and to have good feelings about the future, and to get a little bit of thankfulness in your life because things could always be worse. A grateful person is someone who looks much younger than his peers. He carries less weight and burden on his shoulders, and he may be lifting just as much as the next guy, but he doesn't show it because it doesn't feel as though he's carrying this heavy burden, because he's just thankful. He can accept the facts of life and he can move on, taking stock of the things that were given to him that he knows is a blessing. That might take the form of your health, your family, your ability to do what you want with your hobbies. I mean, like, I'm speaking to you right now from Australia, and we're a pretty lucky country in the sense that we're not getting involved in many of the conflicts overseas. There's Israel-Palestine going on right now. I think just the other day, America just bombed Iran. Like, we're at the bottom end of the world, so we don't get involved in these things. We don't have a lot of natural disasters. So being grateful for where I am in my geolocation is something that reminds me that I could be living somewhere else, even in a tornado zone, and life would be very different. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with that. The trick with gratitude is to truly get the benefits of this skill of being grateful. You have to identify something specific you're grateful for, and you have to let yourself feel the feelings of thankfulness for that. Otherwise, it's just a cheap talking point. It doesn't do for you what it could do, which is take off the weight of the expectation. So yes, that's a quick episode, but these are 5 underrated skills every man should think about developing. And if you pick one, you'll be far further along than if you just listened to this and went back to your day and did nothing. So don't think you have to do all 5. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Just pick one. Pick the one that stood out most to you. Okay, I'm Sam Joseph, and this is the Unstoppable Masculinity Podcast. And if you're so inclined, check the links below and you can sign up for a free graphic novel for men. And I will see you on the next episode.